The morning sun cast long shadows across Fort Henderson as Colonel Sarah Martinez approached the main gate for her first day in command. Dressed in a white blouse, dark jeans, and walking shoes, she looked more like a visitor than a commanding officer. Her choice was deliberate. She wanted to see the base as it truly was, not how people behaved when they knew a superior was watching. As she walked toward the checkpoint, Sarah noticed the signs of neglect: a wrinkled flag, cigarette butts scattered near the no smoking sign, and a dusty guard booth window. To most, these were small things, but to Sarah, they revealed everything she needed to know. Fort Henderson had forgotten its pride. 2 guards manned the checkpoint. It's Private Johnson, young and distracted, and Sergeant Williams, a bit older but too comfortable in his post. They barely noticed her approach, chatting casually about weekend plans as they sipped their coffee. "Excuse me," Sarah said politely. Private Johnson looked up, annoyed. "Can I help you, ma'am?" Without reacting, Sarah placed her ID and transfer orders on the counter. Johnson picked them up, scanning lazily. "This says you're a colonel," he said with confusion, "but you're not in uniform." Sergeant Williams leaned over, suspicious. "I'll need to verify this," he said flatly. Sarah smiled. "Go ahead, Sergeant. And while you're at it, maybe tidy your post a little." Her calm tone carried quiet authority. Williams hesitated, then called the base office. Sarah waited patiently, observing the messy booth filled with old magazines and empty coffee cups. She had already seen enough to understand why she'd been sent here. Williams spoke into the phone. "Yes, sir, a woman claiming to be Colonel Martinez. No, not in uniform. Yes, the papers look real, but—" He stopped as his face drained of color. The voice on the other end had confirmed everything. He turned toward Sarah, standing straighter now. "Ma'am, the command office confirms your identity." There was a communication error. "You're cleared to enter?" Sarah nodded. "Thank you, Sergeant. I appreciate your diligence," but before the gate could rise, Private Johnson stepped forward, defiant. "Wait, I don't care what anyone said on the phone. She's not in uniform. She's not getting in." Williams snapped his head toward him. "Johnson, that's enough." Sarah raised a hand, stopping the argument. Her voice was calm but carried weight. "Private Johnson, I admire your commitment to procedure. But there's a difference between following rules and understanding them." She took out her phone and dialed. "This is Colonel Martinez," she said clearly. "I'm at the front gate. Please send an escort vehicle. We'll also need to review gate security procedures." As she ended the call, both guards realized their mistake. "In a few minutes," she said evenly, "a car will arrive with several senior officers. How you handle the next few minutes will determine whether this is a learning moment or a career-ending one." Johnson's confidence faded. "Ma'am, we were just following protocol," he said weakly. Sarah met his eyes. "Protocol means nothing without respect for the chain of command. When your sergeant verified my ID, that should have been the end of it." William straightened. "Ma'am, we understand. We'll do better." "I know you will," Sarah replied softly. Moments later, a black sedan pulled up. 3 officers stepped out: Major Harrison, Colonel Richards, and Sergeant Major Thompson. Their faces showed a mix of embarrassment and anger. "Colonel Martinez," Harrison said sharply, saluting. "On behalf of Fort Henderson, I apologize for this situation." Sarah returned the salute. "Thank you, Major. I believe it's been an educational morning." Colonel Richards surveyed the disorganized checkpoint. His tone was cold. "Sergeant Williams, Private Johnson, explain how you stopped your commanding officer from entering her own base." Williams began nervously. "Sir, we verified her ID, but—" Thompson cut him off. "You let a private overrule confirmation from command." Unbelievable. Before things escalated, Sarah stepped forward. "Gentlemen, before you punish anyone, let's be clear. This isn't just their failure. It's ours." All 3 officers turned toward her. "No one informed the gate of my arrival," she continued. "No one trained these men properly. Look around. This post is neglected, discipline is gone, and morale has collapsed. That doesn't start with privates. It starts with leadership." There was a long silence. Then Thompson nodded slowly. "You're right, ma'am." Sarah looked at the guards, who stood pale and ashamed. "These 2 don't need punishment," she said firmly. "They need guidance. We'll retrain them and everyone else under this command. Because discipline isn't about fear. It's about pride." As her vehicle passed through the gate, Sarah looked back at the wrinkled flag fluttering above the booth.